Welcome to another version of A Day in the Life of a Superstar. We have from Manhattan Beach, California today, a man that has multiple businesses, multiple hats he wears, and does a lot of things very right a lot. Mr. Ed Kaminsky, who's been a client for a long time. And it's going to be fun watching your reaction to what Ed does, because not only is Ed going to do 100 deals in the calendar year 2011 and make $2.5 million, he also has other businesses which can be a lot of fun. So Ed, first of all, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So of the 100 deals you do, what percentage of your business is listings sold versus buyer sales?
It's probably about 65% listings sold to buyer sales.
Okay, and the listing sold portion, that's your business. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
Buyer sales would be a buyer's agent, somebody in your staff?
Buyer's agents do a lot of the buyer deals, but I still do some buyer transactions once they get over a certain price point.
And what price point do you break off at that you can do the deal for the buyer?
Usually around $1 million or more.
So Manhattan Beach is a very mixed community.
It's very mixed, yeah.
I mean, it's from trash to the most expensive homes you'll ever find.
Exactly.
So how do you decide how to work in a community like that? Because it's really it's a wonderful spot, and I love it, but it's odd, isn't it?
Well, it is odd because really our marketplace is not just Manhattan Beach, but it's all the surrounding cities, which is going to get you to the trash and then the high end.
Yeah.
But I made many shifts in my business over the course of the years, and the biggest shift I made recently was really to focus on Manhattan Beach as a whole.
Because?
Because when the market shifted in 2008, I was really more concerned with just doing transactions.
Yes.
I just wanted to keep the volume up.
Yes.
My average price dropped more than 50% when I did that and started getting pulled into the other cities.
Okay.
This year I said, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm shifting back to doing higher end transactions, and I wanted to stay focused in Manhattan Beach because that's where the average price is higher.
Okay,
and
so what is the average sales price today in Manhattan Beach?
Median price about $1.4 million.
And what was it 5 years ago?
It's dropped about 20% to 25% depending on the house.
So not only do you take a hit on transactions, you take a hit on income at the same time.
Well, yeah, especially when my average price was dropping more to $600,000-700,000 by working the other areas.
Now you can drive virtually, and I want everybody to understand this, 3 or 4 miles east of Manhattan Beach, and you've dropped your sales price from $1.4 million to what?
$200,000.
$200,000.
Yeah.
Do you handle those kind of properties also?
I do. They make their way into our office, and I don't turn anything down. Okay. So I will work those transactions.
Okay. So you'll have listings from $250,000 to $2 million.
And higher, yeah.
And higher.
$150,000 to, $5 million. Yeah.
So the $5 million properties, describe one of those properties in Manhattan Beach.
Well, it depends how close you are to the water. They get smaller as they get closer to the water, but really a $5 million home would be a 6,000 square foot home with an ocean view, built in the last 3 years.
Okay. And then describe a $150,000 home.
That would be
the garage of that big house.
The garage, exactly. It's a post-war house built in 1940 at 800 square feet.
Okay. And those are selling every day like anything else?
They do. They sell well.
You're one of the few agents I know, Ed, that virtually does handle from the lowest to the highest.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, when I started in the business, I wanted to get confidence going. So I thought starting in the low end gave me that confidence when I was new. And so I built up my business to doing 50 transactions a year back then, doing the low end. And then I said, well, let's move to the beach where I actually live and work and start doing that business. And I did that for years, and it was growing again until 2008 when I shifted back and started doing more of it.
So you have 2 other businesses that you operate and run, besides being a residential real estate salesperson, which is your primary cash flow.
Right.
Okay. You have a business where you handle professional athletes.
Yes.
What is that business called?
That's called Sports Star Relocation.
And tell us about that.
So we relocate athletes all across the country when they become drafted or they're traded or become a free agent. And so we help with the whole move from helping them find their home, sell their existing home, and everything related to it. So help them get their personal belongings moved, their utilities turned on. Really, ultimately, just big babysitters.
At a very nice price.
Yes.
How did you get involved in that?
Well, Manhattan Beach has become a haven for athletes because the Lakers train there, the LA Kings train there, And a lot of the NFL players come to Manhattan Beach in the off season to train. So there's just a lot of them around, and I originally helped a couple of them, and then they referred me more clients, and that started to grow. But then I saw this really lack of great service from good agents across the country, either, you know, putting them in situations they shouldn't be put in. And I thought, you know what, I can help these guys elsewhere. I know great agents in great places.
Sure.
I know the needs that they have. I understand the confidentiality issues. And so that's really where that whole idea came from.
So are these people that are buying these, and how many of those would you handle per year of these professional athletes?
We handle different levels, from just moving a car to personal goods to the real estate transaction. So right now we're probably doing about 70 to 80 of those transactions a year.
And that's separate from your 100?
Yes.
So that's a totally separate income flow?
Correct.
Do they need as much babysitting as everybody would think they do as professional athletes?
They do, and sometimes you never even deal with the player. I just sold Lamar Odom's house, never spoke to him once. I dealt with his business manager. To other players that are really hands-on and want to be involved in the transaction, and everywhere in between.
So you're getting business now all over the nation?
Yes.
Instead of just from the couple local Los Angeles teams?
Yeah, I look for what you call feeders. I call them feeders, but people that really work with people that work with a lot of athletes. So maybe be financial advisors, business managers, sports agents, team owners. And so I'm networking with those guys to really access the players.
But then your third business is the one that's I've always been intrigued by, which is your auction business.
Yes.
Talk about that, please.
Well, that's an exciting business, because what we do with the auction business is we focus mostly on luxury properties, but we've done anything from $150,000 homes all the way up to, we just put under contract a $20 million home.
Wow.
So
how does this work?
Basically what we do is we design a 6-week marketing campaign to attract every conceivable buyer there is in the marketplace to the home.
For that particular property? For
that particular property. And then we hold a live auction. Our belief is, in this marketplace, a buyer either needs to feel a sense of value or a sense of urgency to make a decision. So we can create that instantly with an auction. When you hear the word auction as a consumer, what's the first thought that comes to mind?
I'm going to get a great deal.
Great deal, exactly. And that's what we want the buyers to think.
We didn't pre-program that either.
It's exactly what we want them to think. Yet we want to get all the buyers together in one place, competing against each other. They're not negotiating against the seller.
Sure.
They're competing against the other buyers in the room.
Now, do you do this at the home, or do you do
it live on site? Yes.
On site?
Yes.
So where was this $20 million property, if you can disclose just the area?
This we just got in Malibu, California. We just did a 18,000 square foot home in Austin, Texas. Home was on the market for 12 months. We found the agent. She was spending money, not making money. So we went in, did a 6-week campaign. We had 5 great buyers at the property, sold it for all cash for $6 million. We handed her a check for $203,000.
To the agent for the listing?
For the listing agent.
That's probably the most excited she's been in her entire life.
Yes, it was her biggest check of her life.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And the sellers must be thrilled.
Well, they're thrilled. They were just sitting on the market, making mortgage payments and paying property tax and maintaining the property.
Is most of the auctions you're doing then in the high-end luxury properties that are going to sit a long time because of the market?
They could be sitting a long time. They could be just unique, and we really feel that we find market value with an auction. And so it might be a hard to value property. It might be somebody with time constraints. It could be a divorce situation. It could be a probate situation. It could be a spec builder.
Sure.
A lot of different situations.
So I wanted all of you guys and gals to hear what Ed does, because that leads us right into what his day is like, because his day is a little bit different than the average real estate agent. Although doing 100 deals a year, there's certain parameters he has to follow. So what time does your day start in the office?
7:30.
Okay. What do you do for that first hour or so each day?
My day is full of meetings. Whether it's meeting with myself to prospect or meeting with the staff, everything is really pre-designed in my schedule. So at 7:30, I'm just kind of preparing for the day for the first half hour.
Okay.
8 o'clock, I have my first training meeting with the staff.
And 8 o'clock training meeting, what does that mean?
So I'm either coaching my buyer's agents to do their job.
Okay.
I'm working with our auction representatives
Okay.
to help better their skills, or I'm speaking with my Sports Star group across the country on how to find that business.
How many do you have in your Sports Star group now?
40.
That is just great. So these are people that are primarily going to be in professional sports cities. These are agents that you've got to know.
I've licensed them to use our brand,
Good.
the Sports Star
That's
brand.
great. So 8 o'clock till what time is your training meeting with your staff?
We do 30-minute training.
So 8:30. What do you do at 8:30 in the morning?
8:30 to 10:30 I prospect.
So with all these things you have going on, you are right down to the nitty-gritty of doing what we've all have to do, which is prospect every day.
Yes.
And who do you talk to?
I mostly call my past clients, my hot leads, and my sphere of influence.
Okay. So would you say that 80% of your business comes out of your past client centers of influence?
It's growing outside of that this year. Again, I put a strong focus on Manhattan Beach and trying to break in different ways. So we're doing, you know, some of the teams generating some cold call leads and things like that. So I'm calling those hot leads, which is new business.
So at the level that you're at, because you're generating tremendous amounts of income between these three businesses, and you still feel the need to prospect every day. Why?
It's the most profitable thing I do.
Okay.
By far.
Okay.
And I feel that if I stop prospecting, the business will start to stop.
Okay.
And I also believe, this is my line,
This is my story and I'm sticking to it.
but I always say if you shake an apple tree, what do you get?
Okay. Apples.
Oranges. So
If you shake an apple, you get oranges. Okay, I want to hear about this.
if you're mentally engaged in the business, you're
Okay.
really doing the activities that it takes to get the business, I find that business starts to flow in.
From all sides.
Yeah,
From everywhere.
I'm prospecting expired listings, and my past client calls me up and says, I want to list my house. But the second I stop prospecting, those calls don't seem to come in.
Your auction business would shrink.
Everything would shrink.
Your sports relocation would shrink.
You have to be engaged in the business every day. You've got to be going after new business every day.
So 10:30, you prospected 2 hours. What do you do now?
I meet with service staff, those that are servicing listings, servicing escrows, so I have a meeting with them.
And for how long?
That's 30 minutes.
So 10:30 to 11.
Right.
What happens at 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock I have, depends on the day of the week, but usually it's a coaching call with my people that are driving the auction business or
Okay.
the athlete business.
So 11:30, that's to 11:30.
Right.
You're losing a lot of money being with me here today, aren't you? Sounds like this is screwing up your whole
No,
schedule.
sometimes you have to stop and get off the treadmill and learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
11:30?
11:30 I'm managing whatever just has been coming in for the last 3 hours.
Okay.
And handling those things, and then I take lunch at 12.
So how do you stop with this schedule all the normal distractions that every agent faces?
It's a challenge. I sometimes joke of putting a ticket counter in my office because I'm being attacked so often. So everybody's taking there as a line.
Take a number, get in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really the biggest thing that I do is just schedule everything. I just schedule I know I've got to talk to my staff and just get it scheduled. I know I've got to deal with Sports Star stuff, get it scheduled.
Okay.
So I just schedule as much as I can.
So it's 1 o'clock. You've had a strong morning, finished lunch. What happens now?
Typically it's a listing appointment at 1 o'clock. I try
Okay.
to set them at 1 o'clock.
And how many appointments in a normal week do you have, listing appointments?
4.
4 appointments a week, okay? And how many listings do you have right now?
I have 18.
Okay. And how many pendings? Residential, not the Sports Star.
Yeah, we're about
all the
15 right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is that about normal for you?
It is. I like the number 25. We talk about 25 million.
Yes, yep.
But I like having 25 escrows, 25 listings, and so that's always my goal to get it to that
Okay,
number.
good.
Mhm.
So afternoon, listing appointments. And if you don't have any?
Then
It's not like you don't have anything to do.
I am nonstop from the second I get there. It's less scheduled in the afternoon, but I'm putting together deals. I mean, some of these deals are $2-3 million, so I'm
Sure.
having to manage those type of clients with either educating them on the values in the market or the reason they should do something,
Okay.
advising clients.
What time do you generally end your day?
Usually it's 8 o'clock.
So you're going to go from 7:30 to 8 or 12 hours a day,
Yes.
okay? And you do that how many days a week?
I do that 4 days, and Fridays I go home at 5:30.
So you're going to put in about 55 hours per week.
Well, then I work Saturday too.
And then you work Saturday, so you're at 65 hours per week.
Yeah.
Okay. Of that 65 hours, what percentage of that is productive versus screwing around, being interrupted, distracted?
99.1%.
It is productive.
Just truly, I'm either on the phone with a client, or I'm dealing with a staff member doing something. I mean, it's literally nonstop all day long.
Okay. And you've been doing this for how many years?
Well, this intense, it's been about probably 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't see any real end to the intensity, do you?
No, I mean, I have bigger ideas every day that I want to move forward. So
Okay.
I just get excited about all these things that are in my head.
So the truth is, this is the beginning.
This is the beginning. I haven't even touched what I can do.
And I think what each of you guys and gals need to understand is that each of you have the same opportunity, and you have the same choice. And the choice is, do I want to do something spectacular as a real estate? Because Ed started as an agent. When we met, you were doing 0 deals.
Yeah,
I mean, you were like
new.
brand new.
Yeah.
Okay? And today he's one of the most successful in the world in a variety of areas. So the truth is, we can all do it if we choose to. So Ed, you've got this great group sitting in front of you, and they're dying for your last great words of advice.
Well, I've been saying it a lot lately. It's really, everyone knows everything starts with a thought, but it's the execution that really matters. Everybody's got great ideas. Everybody knows what they want to do. You have probably the most incredible teaching individual coach in the world sitting right here. You know what he says. He tells you what to do. You have to execute. You have to just burn that thought, that word in your mind, execution, and just go out and do it.
So you're saying if a person focuses on the execution with the ideas that are available to them, they're going to win in almost every case.
Yes, and for me, I execute all the time, but I put things in place to hold me accountable. Whether it's a coach,
Sure.
It's telling my team what I'm going to do and telling them to hold me accountable, telling my family members what I'm going to do. I mean, I tell everybody, or I have people that are going to hand me my sphere of influence and say, Ed, call them. So you have to have that accountability in place along with the execution.
It's a great thought.
Yeah.
Guys and gals, watch this DVD 10 times before you get your next one. It's going to be worth every minute you invest. Thanks for watching, and Ed, great thoughts. Thanks,
Mike.
Appreciate it.
You got it.